Legilmens for our member post their best games thread, and wants to see what I can come up with for him here. And he attributes that his rise in strength is chiefly accredited to this group of the video lessons here at chess.com. I want to thank you for saying that. We definitely are here to help you improve, and you're just another testimony in the endless supply of testimonies that tell me that this group helps you play chess better. Okay, so let's take a look at this and see what we can come up with. Okay, so this was a turn-based game, a move every 3 days. Again, I don't know how quick the players are moving. Everyone's different. We have the Queen's Gambit accepted. And Knight c3 is not the main line, but it doesn't matter. It's a perfectly good move, and it can transpose. Anyway, Black plays an unorthodox move here. And I look at this and I say, gee, I can build an imposing pawn center. White didn't play the move I did. Maybe you can, or I would play here, but I would consider seriously f3 here. What's Black going to do? Okay, let's look at this. What's Black going to do? No matter where that bishop runs to, White's going to be able to play e4 next move. So let's put it here for the fun of it. And now e4, and look at that white pawn center. I mean, that looks juicy to me. You're ready to retake the pawn next move, and followed by knight ge2 and castles. Eventually you'll tempo this bishop again with either knight g3 or knight f4. Just to show you how good this looks, let's play some lines. Let's take a look. Okay, we'll play some developing moves for both sides. Okay. Let's get Black ready to castle too. And where do you want to put the knight? Let's put it on g3. Now this comes back here, and White just works on his development. Black does the same. Maybe he puts the knight here. And let's stick the rook on the half-open file. I'm kind of maneuvering the black pieces so that that queen can get developed. And I don't know, I really like White's game here. Gotta watch out for that pawn. White's got greater boardroom, control of the center. What more can you ask? It's a very easy, comfortable position to play. And if Black doesn't develop his pieces, as you've seen if you're watching these videos, you can just see all heck break loose. The tactics start happening. But this is definitely not forced. It's just something I do. I call it, my name for it is fantasy chess. It's just one fantasy line that tries to illustrate the point of what would happen if we played a move I suggest. And the way I continue, I just play developing moves for both sides. I don't stop and look for tricks and tactics, because usually they don't work because you're not developed. But I get the pieces out for both sides, and we figured that what kind of game we can get out of it. It sure looks like White's got a real nice position here. It's not winning yet, but it's more boardroom, everything else you could want. Okay, so let's back up. He didn't play f3. Whoops. Silly PGN at chess.com. It replaces main line with sidelines. Okay, knight f3. Now this allows, if Black wants, to take this guy, and that kind of justifies bishop g4. It's true, it develops a piece, and I think in this position, owing to what Black has done, this is the time to do it right now and make White commit to which way he's going to take it back. But not taking it is okay too, but I think that was a good time to take it. And it's still there. He could take it again. But here, I strongly believe that you made a mistake here, and I'll show you a better move here in just a moment. Let's look at what you did play, and we'll come back. You played e3. Now, logically, to some degree, it makes sense. You're preparing to develop your king's bishop, but the better move is just bring your bishop back to g3. Okay, and why is that a better move? Okay, it's a better move because if black ever takes, you get the half-open rook file. Okay, you get that. That's pretty much it. By guarding with e3, you give black a chance to ruin your pawns. Okay, here we go. Watch. I mean, obviously you planned for this, but let's look what's happened. You've got some double pawns. Now they're not that bad. I was having have double pawns before, but now this guy on d4 is isolated. So black can start counterattacking you right now with knight c6, and I think black actually has the better position here. Black is active. Black's got targets. The threat is to play bishop takes followed by queen takes d4 and make you justify giving up a pawn. And you know, what are you going to do? Okay, let's develop. Let's take a pawn. Let's just analyze a move or two. See what happens. Okay, takes. Now I'm going to take this because it threatens the bishop. Now I'll go secure my knight. See, my knight was, you're threatening to take that. Now what white should probably develop a piece. Okay, develop the rook. We get a tempo on the queen. But no matter how you slice it, black's a pawn ahead, and white's not that but much better developed here. White can get on the 7th rank, but black's got resources here. You know, let's see what happens if we trade. Oh wait, it's black's move. Offer you another trade. Now you can come behind it, but I'm going to probably end up trading. Let's see. We got to be careful here. Got to be just a wee bit careful. I don't know if this is forced. Now let's create a little air for the king. I don't know. Ooh, that looks dangerous. Well, we're threatening a mate, and queen. I don't know. Maybe, you know, got threats. Whoops, we got a bishop loose. Does white have enough? No, he doesn't. Okay, let's take this first. You know, I don't know if this is forced. I'm just playing. I'm trying to see if white can get anywhere here with this. And now we're getting ready to bring the knight into f6. Oh, that's no good. Just queen d4. And we've got back rank threats and threatening to trade queens. And black survived this. Let's see, queen checks. You can check here. The king can come up. Now white's in trouble. Knight g3. He avoided a queen trade though, which would have given him a lost ending. I think white's in serious trouble here. Knight d4 with a threat of knight e2 check. And white can't play queen b5. You know, this obviously isn't forced, but I'm just kind of playing around. Black had an initiative the whole way there. White got something for the pawn, but didn't get enough. So how do you avoid making a mistake like that? Well, just consider pawn structure. Okay. If you play that move, it gives him a chance to isolate a pawn that he can immediately start attacking. So what you played was e3, and he just goes and justifies what you've done. He wastes a tempo. He puts his bishop on b4. If anything, he could have left it there. So he just basically wasted a tempo. And you do the right thing. Now look at this. You've got knights and bishops out. He's just got his bishops. You know, usually they say develop your knights first, then your bishops. Well, he's developed his bishops first, and his knights are still sitting at home. So white's got a lead in development. Black's allowed this to happen. There he gets a knight in play, but now comes just one of these horrible moves I talk about. I tell you guys not to play them. What does h6 do? It wastes the tempo and it weakens the black king side. White doesn't want to go to g5. There's nothing useful about going to g5. Even if it was White's move in this position, and he can't put the knight on g5 because the queen falls. And if you put the bishop on g5, Black wins a piece, I think, with bishop takes knight. It's just, whoops. Let's burn a move for Black, and we can do it. I'll play the other pawn to. My mouse is being funny. I'll burn a move to make it possible. See, bishop takes. Now, what are you going to do if you're White? If you take this bishop on d1, Black takes the bishop on d8 and remains a piece ahead. So you grab this pawn, and then Black just says, "Thank you very much. I'll be leaving now." And White's down a piece. So there's I'm just doing this to illustrate there's no need for White to go to g5. Okay, none whatsoever. Just develop knight f6. If White pins the knight, so what? You can always bring the bishop back again. You've moved it twice. Why not move it third time? And what's White threatening if he pins it? You wait until he brings another critter in to attack it. H6 is just, whoops, H6 is just a horrible move. And at this point, White definitely has the better game. It's just a matter of how to do it. I'm sure there's a lot of useful moves here. Just since you're ahead in development, you can start considering moves like d5. You can develop the queen. That's certainly good. Developing the queen can't be bad because then your rooks are connected. It's okay if Black doubles your pawns here. You don't care. You're so far ahead in development, it won't matter. Anyway, what you do is fine. I mean, you're not completely full of you haven't completed your development yet. So usually I say hold off on moves like this. Just wait a couple of moves. Okay, if you play queen b3, this idea is still going to be there, and you've developed a piece, and you've tied this knight down to guarding something, and you've connected your rooks. So your move's fine, but developing is probably better. Okay, so whenever you have a chance to complete your development, do that. Do your tricks later. They're not going away, and they'll work all the better when all your pieces are out. Okay, so now Black comes back to defend, and gosh, you just have so many good moves here. I think taking either way is fine. This picks up the bishop pair. Now you can give him a permanent weakness on d6 if you play d5 now, because you're attacking the knight. You're forcing him to take it, and then you've given him a permanent isolated pawn here. But again, you have all the options. You have the development. Even developing the queen, queen to a4 was good. But anything you play is good. And now you do break open the center with d5, and e4. Now he should have castled at some point, because this loses a pawn, but you didn't see it. You have a trick. Bishop takes d6. You can actually get away with that because if queen takes, you have bishop takes f7 check, and you're going to have won the queen for 2 minor pieces, and that's always worth it. But the pawn isn't going anywhere. Opening up the board was fine with what you did. You played e5, but e5 would have been better. Again, you can afford to wait on it because it eliminates his isolated pawn. You can just develop your pieces. Okay, development is never bad. Okay, it's never bad, and it lets you get everything into action. So queen e2, queen b3, queen d3 even. Maybe not queen d3. You might have knight b4, but even rook c1 is good. But you have just a happy choice here. But you didn't take on d6. You played e5, and I think this actually helped your opponent out a little bit. He's going to start wiggling his way, free here. Okay, so now you got to watch out for the d5 square. It's going to get exposed. Now you had a pin you had to deal with. Now you play g4. And at this point, black should just play queen takes d5 and force you to accept a double pawn to get your piece back. Okay? And suddenly black's wiggling out of this. If not even better. Queen takes d5, I think your position gets a little embarrassed here. You pretty much had to allow a queen trade, which black can just ignore. His queen's better. It's fine for black just to castle here. Oop, come back here. My mouse is being funny. Okay, king g8. Okay, put the king on g8. That'll castle. Black's for choice here, and not only that, black's a pawn ahead. But black's got a better pawn structure, a more active queen. Suddenly, black who was behind development is caught up. Why did this happen? Well, because you opened up the position before you were developed. Okay, that's why it happened. So. You can always do these things after your development's complete. I want you to remember that when you play your next game. Just say, yeah, it looks good. It probably is good, but it'll be better if I get all my development out. Even if you can't see that yet, just try it and see what happens. Especially if your opponent's going to make waste moves like h6 on you. So your opponent had all the time to think, and 3 days to move, and he didn't think. He didn't do it right. And I guess he got an idea that wrong one. He got this idea he can take this pawn and get the piece later. Well, the problem is you have a nice little Zwischenzug, which you found. Zwischenzug is an in-between move. Why isn't it taking the move? Yeah, bishop takes f7 check, and suddenly you're coming out of this dandy. You got a break. If king takes, then you have knight takes. Well, here I'll just show you. Knight takes e5 check. Now where's this king going to go? Let's put it on. Well, you don't want to put it on f6. Because you'll take this queen with check. Black needs to be able to take the queen back. Let's put it on g8 where it disconnects the rooks. Now, knight takes looks fine because when he takes your queen, this enables you to develop a rook. You want to always make exchanges that develop your pieces. Now this rook developed. White's got a better position here. He's developed, black is not, and black's rooks aren't connected, which he needs to deal with promptly. You can even take with the other rook and be playing rook e1, but black's in trouble here, and if king h7, his king's farther away from the center, and let's see. Knight e5. Look. He's going to play rook fd8. Rook hd8. I'm wondering if you have better here somewhere. Okay, king g8. Oh, yeah, of course. Just correct your pawns. Okay, yeah. You don't have to rush to take the queen. Just correct the pawn formation. Now, the queen is loose and has to be dealt with. There's latent threats of a check, and anything by black, anything like queen takes, this helps white because bang, we're developed and we're ready to hit the 7th rank. Your knight's not in the way. Okay, so I did that wrong. just take the bishop off with the pawn, and you've got a great game. What's he going to play? Queen b5. You could get away with queen b3 check here, and if he takes, you have the open A file. You could he's on your knight. You need to deal with that, but that's not a problem. You can play rook e1, developing the rook, and then your queen can start thinking about finding new squares like f3. Well, f3, play rook f8. But you get the idea. You've got the better game here because you've got better development, and his rooks are not connected, and his king's a little more exposed than yours, surprisingly. So he let you off the hook, and you found the right move, and he went to d8, which is the worst possible move, I think. It just, black's losing now, and you took this. Now you're piece up. So he can't even come down and take on g4 with check because his queen's pinned. If he can do that, it looks like he gets his piece back. Or no, he doesn't get his piece back. But he's got some nuisance value, but he can't even do that. So the game is essentially over. You're a piece ahead, and that's all she wrote. You know, from here it's just a matter of being careful, and he's helping you trade pieces. Just be careful, and there's nothing he can do. Absolutely nothing. Just force another trade. Nothing black can do. Black is busted. So he didn't have to be busted. You know, there was ways he could have got the better of it, and there was ways you could have got the better of it too. So it was kind of back and forth. But the thing that almost hurt you was what? Your failure to complete development. Okay, so I don't think you'll make that mistake again, which is good to know and makes me very happy. But anyway, this is just a simple routine. You know, I don't know why he's playing on. It's almost bad sportsmanship to play on. You know, black has no chance, and here he gave up. Okay, I want to thank everyone for stopping to take a look at this. Hopefully you can take my analysis and look at some of those little lines deeper, and it'll help improve your chess. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care.